Hello there, my name is Angus Perry. I'm a GP and I'm the founder of GeneralPractice.AI. Today I'm going to demonstrate to you one of the features on the GeneralPractice.AI platform, and that is the Management Plan Generator. The Management Plan Generator allows you to rapidly generate management plans for a variety of conditions and chronic diseases, with a focus on lifestyle management, risk factor adjustment, and social prescribing. The reason why I've created this particular tool is to improve the way in which we manage chronic disease. So, in the context of a GP appointment, let's say we are diagnosing someone with hypertension. Now, there's an awful lot to cover in one consultation. First of all, you have to give the patient the diagnosis. You have to explain what hypertension is. You have to explain if they're going to be started on medication, what medication, what are the side effects, what is the follow-up, and are any blood tests required. So there's a lot to cover in what is usually a time-pressured consultation. But further all, you have to cover lifestyle factors, lifestyle modification, which has such an integral part in the management of these chronic diseases. And from my perspective, I would often gloss over this. You may say to the patient, try to cut back on your smoking, try to do more exercise, try to lose some weight. But often it's very difficult to give meaningful and useful advice in what can often be a very time-pressured consultation. So the purpose of the GP management plan is to allow you to do that. You can do it during the consultation or after, and it generates a management plan that you can then give to the patient, which has all that advice on it and all that information that they need to be empowered to manage their chronic disease. So what I'll do is I will talk through how you can generate a plan using the platform. I'll do a couple of examples. So I'll start with hypertension. So you click on hypertension here, and you go to Generate GP Management Plan. First, you put what their current blood pressure is. So let's say it's currently 170 over 110. And then what is their target? So it depends on how tightly you want to control it, but let's just say for this patient, we want it to be less than 140 over 90. Then, what are their secondary goals? Well, it may be that they want to stop smoking. They may want to reduce their alcohol consumption, and they may want to lose some weight as well. If they want to lose some weight, what's their current weight? So let's say they're 110 kilograms and they're 1.8 meters. Next, what is required to start these medications? Well, let's say we're going to start them on medication. Which medication? Let's say we start on amlodipine, and they're not on any existing medications. Next, does the patient require any support with home blood pressure monitoring? So if I say yes, if I tick that, do they have their own blood pressure monitor? And do they not have that? So if I tick that as well, I can then choose a resource for blood pressure monitors. If I choose the British Heart Foundation, this gives recommendations on blood pressure monitors. And then I can choose a blood pressure diary. So we've got this example here. And then a video of how they can check their own blood pressure. So if I give them this link here, this is a YouTube video, how they can monitor their blood pressure at home. Next, we're on to risk factor modification. So let's say they have obesity. So if we click on that, it then will automatically populate all the resources that are saved in the application which pertain to obesity management. So if I just choose this one here, all these free resources here, then physical inactivity. So these are all the resources local to our area which the patient can engage with to help improve their physical activity. So if I choose this one here, this is the GP Movement and Activity Program. This is a program that we've developed at our surgery where we are able to prescribe patients exercise. They get free access to a gym membership for a certain time period. So if I choose that, and also we have a park run in Allness, so I'll choose that one as well. Next, they're a smoker, and one of their secondary objectives is to stop smoking. So then these are all the resources that we have locally for patients to stop smoking. So Quit Your Way, NHS Highland smoke-free service, that's probably about it. And let's say also they are struggling with alcohol consumption. So we can put a few resources here as well that they might find helpful. And then essential reading and scientific papers. I always think it's important that you try to inform the patient as much as possible. You give them valuable information to help them really understand what their condition is. And what I like to do is actually signpost patients to certain research papers which I think are useful and will help to improve their understanding. So you can choose some papers here. So it's automatically found papers that are stored on the application that pertain to hypertension. So this is a good paper here. This was a recent paper that found the benefits of strength training and how important it is in controlling blood pressure. So that's something that I want the patient to read. So I want to put that in the plan. And we've got one about diet, how diet can improve our blood pressure, and then some other research as well. So I'll populate this. And then, of course, I can add some information about exercise. So this is called Zone 2 training, which can be helpful for blood pressure. So I'll tick that box as well. And then we determine when is the follow-up date. So let's say we're going to follow up on the 15th of August. Then I press Generate. And here we go. So here is the management plan. So it's got the needs of the healthcare needs, which is the management of blood pressure. We've got the goals here and their current blood pressure, and of course all their secondary goals as well. So we then go on to the plan. So these are all the links to the blood pressure monitors and the things that we selected. All the risk factors. So it's produced all this text for the patient to read, which contains detailed information about all their risk factors. And then, of course, here are the scientific papers. So it's taken those papers and it's summarized them and given the key points as well as a link for them to do their own reading. And then, of course, you've got the red flags and a follow-up date and a conclusion. So a lot of these resources are actually available on the My Lifestyle Hub, which is the patient app, which is linked to this app. So they can get all these resources via that. They can obviously go on the websites themselves, but the resources are all plumbed in to the application as well. And of course, all the scientific papers are there as well if they want to read it on the application. I'll just do one more example. So if we take, let's choose non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. So let's choose that one. And again, it's slightly different to the hypertension one. So we've got the need here. So there's a description of what it is. So what are the management goals? So you can choose what are their primary goals. So reduction of liver fat, maybe the liver function is deranged, so we want to improve that. And also we want to prevent the progression of disease. So we can choose all three of those goals. Then of course, these are the secondary goals. So let's choose weight loss. And we've already got a weight there. And let's put reduction of cardiovascular risk factors. So let's say the current ALT is sitting around 78, and the previous one, we can put it here, let's say it was 66. So what is needed to achieve these goals? So first of all, resources. So we can choose whatever resources are available to us locally. So in the Highlands, we've got NHS Inform, and this is some information that we can signpost to the patient, so I'll choose that. Then, of course, we're back to the risk factors. So these are all the risk factors for non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. So we can choose which ones pertain to the patient. So if I choose obesity, and then again, I choose the resources like you've seen with hypertension. Let's choose diet. And then there's a few apps here we can recommend. Physical inactivity. Again, I will refer to the GP Movement Activity Program. And we've got, let's say they have other comorbidities like diabetes. So we've got some resources here they can use to help manage their diabetes. And again, more essential reading and scientific papers. So we've got some interesting papers here about what is non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, what are the risk factors. Some really interesting reading which I think the patient would benefit from. So I'll put those here as well. And of course, we've got the follow-up date. And then we press generate, and there we go. So there's our plan. And what we can do is we just copy to clipboard, and we can then send that to the patient. Now, one of the other features which I've just mentioned now is it will also generate SMART goals. So the AI will look at everything that's been put together in this plan, and it will create some SMART goals for the patient. By SMART, I mean specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So You can change these if you want to tweak them, but this is what the AI has generated based on what it feels would be best. And that's it. That's the management plan generator.